So just how do we maintain current rankings and traffic? Let's go ahead and jump right into it. We want to know the website that we'll be working with really well, and then we can create and implement a plan to protect our current rankings and traffic. So let's start with how we can know the website that we're working with really well. The first thing that's very important to realize is that one of the biggest changes that happens during the redesign process is changing the URLs. And when they change, that can be one of the biggest causes of a website to lose its rankings. Now, there are some good reasons to change URLs, and there are ways to do so while protecting your rankings, as we'll talk about. But otherwise, if you can, keep them the same if there's really no reason to change them. But taking a second to look at the website that I'm working with here, livelongandprosper.com, you'll notice that if I click on their services page, their link is livelongandprosper.com/services pricing.html. That is an awful URL. That is not something that I want to keep for obvious reasons. One, it is not optimized at all. And secondly, we have 3 dashes for some strange reason. So that is something that I will be changing, and we're going to look at how I can change that with the redesign process. But I also have portfolio.html, testimonials.html. Now, these are not necessarily bad names for pages, contact.html, but since this website is going to be built on WordPress now, there will no longer be the .html extension at the end. This means the URL will still be changing even if I keep the words contact, testimonials, portfolio. So we'll look at that again in a bit. Now, the first thing that I want to do is crawl the website, because this is going to give me a lot of good information about the website and where it is right now. Now, you can do this yourself manually, or you can do this using paid tools. If you have a small site like Live Long and Prosper, it's pretty straightforward. You pretty much want to get an idea of how many pages are on the website. But even with a small website, I still like to crawl the website so I can make sure that there are no other hidden pages that I don't know about or I'm not expecting. You never know if a hidden page could have backlinks that you don't know about, and you really want to preserve any backlinks or any SEO juice that you have. So it's always good to double check, but especially if you have a larger site, this is something that you definitely want to do. Let's look at how we can manually crawl the website. There's actually a free tool called Link Sleuth, and this tool will allow you to crawl the website. It's going to show you how many pages. It's going to show you if there's any errors. It can also show you any internal or external links, metadata, and more information. So it's pretty helpful. So here we can go to File, Check URL. We can insert the URL and click OK. And it's going to generate a list of everything on the website. Now I can sort by type here, and you can see that it is going to put all the JavaScript files. It pulls all the images. Here we have GIF images, JPEG, PNG, etc. We have all our CSS files, and then it pulls down to our HTML files. So we can see we have 1, 2. Although these 2 are the same page, search engines may be viewing them as 2 pages, so I'll have to look at that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages that we have, but it also shows that the website has a few external links here. So that's pretty much exactly what I expected. If there was any hidden pages, it would also pull those up there as well. Now, if you have submitted a sitemap to your Google Search Console account, then that will also tell you how many pages were submitted. And so that's a quick way to know your number of pages as well. Another thing that you can do is simply go to Google and type in site, semicolon, and the web address. And this is going to pull up all of your pages as well here. Now notice here, I'm going to look, it says that I have 6 results. So I want to double check what those are. I have the home page, testimonials, contact, portfolio, services, and then here I have a page that I don't know about. And this is ads and specials. Again, here we have those 3 dashes for some reason. I can click through and see what this is. So this just looks like a large ad. But that's a page that I don't know about, and that might be something that we want to keep. That might be something that we want to do something else with. But it's good to know that that page exists. And the last tool that you can use, this is actually a paid tool, is called Screaming Frog. So this is a tool that's going to allow you to crawl the website, and it's going to give you an SEO audit and really show you what on-page SEO optimization has been done. Just like with Zeno, this will show you the title of any pages so you can quickly see those. You can also scroll over here. You can see how many links that particular page receives, and you can also see what the description is on that particular page as well. So you'll be able to get a lot of that information as well, plus some additional information like SEO recommendations from this Screaming Frog tool. Now the next thing that I want to look for is inbound links, meaning backlinks, because these are very important for our site, and we're going to talk about this more later in the course. But in the beginning, we want to see what the backlink profile is for this particular website before we start the redesign. This is going to help us determine which pages are most important and which pages are receiving the most backlinks. So there's a couple good sites for this. We can use Open Site Explorer by Moz. We can throw in the URL here. It's going to pull up how many links there are. Here it's saying 0, and then below, if there are links, it will show you here how many actual links the website has and where those links are actually coming from. Another tool that you can use is Majestic. You can throw that in here. Majestic is going to give you the trust flow and citation flow. If you don't understand that yet, don't worry, we'll get to that a little bit later. But this is also going to tell you how many backlinks it has from how many domains. And then scrolling down, it's going to give you a better breakdown of what those links are. As you can see, this is showing one link here, and this is from a directory. So that's something that we're definitely going to have to come back and look at to see if that's something we want to keep. What we're going to want to do is create a 301 redirect plan. This 301 redirect plan is how you will be able to change the URLs on your site if you need to. But as I mentioned, before you get into a 301 redirect plan, the best thing you can do is to keep the same URL structure. But for instance, with the particular web page that I showed you, if we do not want to keep that particular URL, a 301 redirect plan is what we're going to need to implement. So if you can keep your URLs, it's so much easier and you don't need to take this step. But if you do change the URL structure, this step is essential. This is the biggest step that is going to have the biggest impact on maintaining your rankings. So a 301 redirect will make sure that your old URL points to the new URL. And it also is going to pass the page rank from the old page to the new page. So you really want to pay special attention to this. Now, if you start looking at redirects, you'll notice some different numbers. Like there's the 301 that I mentioned. There's also 302. You want to make sure that you are using 301 only. That means this is a permanent redirect. This is what is going to help pass that SEO juice, that link juice from your old page to your new page. If you use a 302 redirect, that means this is a temporary change and search engines are not going to pass that value from your old link to your new link. Now also, when you redesign a website, you may be tempted to delete pages. Now that's really the last thing that we want to do. You really want to keep the pages if possible, and if you don't like the page for whatever reason, another idea is to rework the page a bit. You can add new content, you can change it up a bit so it is more helpful, provides more value, or you can simply point that page to a new page using a 301 redirect. Now we're going to look at how to actually implement a 301 redirect in a bit, and it's not as overwhelming as it might sound right now, so don't worry. Now moving on, we're going to want to do an SEO audit. Now what an SEO audit is this basically helps you identify what the website's current strengths and weaknesses are. And this is going to help you see what you should keep or what you should remove. And most importantly, it's going to help you create a plan for the redesign process so that you can incorporate any SEO elements that were into the new site moving forward. And anything that was not previously implemented, you can implement with the new site. So with an SEO audit, we look for different things like how slowly does the website load? Does it have a mobile version? Are the images optimized? Really, we're just looking for opportunities here. We're looking for what is working with the site and what is not working on the site. Now, going off of the SEO audit, we want to take note of our on-page optimization. Now, we want to keep all of the pages that are currently optimized. We don't only want to focus on the core pages. What can happen is the core pages will continue to be optimized with the new site, and any of the other pages that aren't considered the core site pages, they may have been optimized before, but we don't worry about those so much when we do the redesign, and we don't carry over that optimization. And that can certainly cause you to lose ranking. So it's something to pay very close attention to. So if I go to the Live Long and Prosper website, I can take a look at the URL, I can take a look at the content, I can take a look at the headers and see what has been done. Now on this site, really nothing has been done. So I know that I have a lot of work to do and there's really not a lot to carry over here. Now you can use different tools like Mozbar, for example, and Mozbar will show you different on-page optimization that has been done. So what I can do is if I have the Mozbar implemented, which is a free browser tool, I can click on this page analysis. It's going to show me what the URL is, the page title, the meta description, if there's any keywords included. It will also tell me if there's a header tag. Here it shows me the H1 tag. It says that does not exist, so that presents an opportunity for me. Again, I can look at H2, I can see if there's any formatting. All these things will show me the strengths and weaknesses for each particular page. I can also look at the general attributes. I can see how long the page took to load. I can look at the link metrics. I can see the page authority and several other link metrics here as well. Now, if you will be using a new domain, in this particular instance, we're going to be keeping the same domain. But if you will be using the same domain in your Google Search Console, you want to let Google know, and this is the same for Bing Webmaster Tools, you want to let them know that you will be using a new domain. That way they can pass all of your link juice from one site to the new domain. To do this, you'll want to go into your account. Now what you'll want to do is you'll want to go to your settings icon here and you'll want to click on change of address. And here it's going to allow you to add your new domain and go through the process to verify it, and it will point your original domain to your new domain. So go ahead and take a few minutes now and do a manual crawl of your website. Take a look at how many links you have coming in to your website. Look at the URLs in particular to see which ones you think you're going to want to change so that you can note those down for when we actually start getting into how to do a 301 redirect. And do a quick SEO audit. Look for the strengths and weaknesses. Note down what you're going to need to carry over into the new site. Note down what has not been done that would present an opportunity in the new site as well. And then we're going to look at a few more things that you're going to want to pay attention to so that you can